my god, I look so weird today. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And from my previous videos, whenever I sit in this corner, it means that I have something deep to talk about. But these kind of motions come at me at any time. I'm about to go to work in a few hours, so I better film this really fast. But today's topic is why I don't believe in love, at least for now, anymore. And love is every single person have their own definition of what love is, but it is such a big word, right? It means a lot. It's also based on how much experience you have with love that can determine how much that word means to you. For example, when I was younger, love didn't have much weight to it because I didn't actually truly experience what a loving someone could be. So I always used to do that word a lot. I love you, or towards partners, I will be, I love you so much. Or just use it on a frequent basis. For example, I just say I love you every day to my partner, but it kind of felt like overused at a point. Just say I love you every day, the weight of that word kind of not loses its meaning, but kind of decreases in value of some sorts. For me, I could see that whenever I said it frequently, they'll just be like, oh, okay, oh, all right, I love you back too, that kind of thing. But when I started to, not purposefully, but I decided at one point I would only say I love you when I really mean it, and not because I say it out of habit. It tends to have more value in it. People appreciate it more. They'll not expect it every time. Not necessarily all the time, but I feel like sometimes less is more. The phrase less is more really applies to this. It's kind of like, I don't even know how to say it, but kind of like the scarcity mindset where your love is limited and not always free to go around. So the more you say it, people will get used to it. It doesn't really have much meaning or thought behind it, as compared to you say it once in a week, or you say it when you really have the feeling to say it, instead of love bombing or saying it every day. I feel like when I do that, I do find a stark difference in how a person receives the love. There's one point about love, and the reason I also don't say it as much as before is I feel like you should probably go to a therapist or something to work things out. But sometimes if I could, I would self-diagnose myself and link everything to my childhood, because I feel like things you experience as a child, your childhood, the way your parents treat you, the way you see how your parents act together as a married couple, whatever their relationship status is, or as a teenager, how your friends treat you is inevitably going to affect how your brain tends to work as you grow into an adult, because the earlier parts of your life is the most important and how it shapes you into the future. And so I don't believe in love because it's I used to believe in what I perceive to be as love, but now as I grow older, love is turning more into sort of like a companionship thing, compared to people might think love is like, oh, I love you so much until till death kind of thing. No, for me, I don't know when it started, but love has started to turn into less of an emotional feeling and more into something more practical. or logical. I don't even know. This really stemmed from my childhood where I used to like, I don't know why every time I talk about like my family members, I just start to tear up and I don't know. It might be because I'm away from home for quite some time and I never get to spend as much time as I want to with them. But like, please forgive me for my like weak nature. But basically, I remember when I was a child and even as I grew up to an adult now, I always ask my mom this because like my mom and dad are together. They've been together for so very long. Like for they were married at like 30 years old and now they're like almost 60. So it's like 30 over years of marriage and I mean they were never actually close. More like my father was always someone very loving to my mother, but I always could see that my mom had this like detachment from even as a child until my adult years. I've always asked her this question like, do you love dad? Like for real, do you love dad or have you ever loved him? And she's always like, when she was young, she had so many options. She literally was the most beautiful woman ever, and she had so many options to marry, like wealthy man, handsome man, but she always chose like she chose my dad. And I asked her like why would you choose that? Just being curious. Like my dad is great and okay, but she had options and she was like, he's a loyal man. That's it. And he's a family man and then he works hard. Then I was like, fine, but do you love him? And she always gave a straight no, like, which I was confused as a child, like, no, what do you mean no? And then she was like, no, I don't love him at all. So I think this concept really creeped up on me as an adult. I like this person enough to stay with them, to be loyal with them, to shower them with love basically, show them love in all these different kind of ways, but I can never open my heart to someone like absolutely fully now. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of sad that you cannot fully love someone, but that's also how the way it is. So this has been quite something actually. This is quite a heart opener actually. I really wonder why I really start acting like this. Like ultimately I feel like there is no right or wrong on how to build a relationship. It's just what you live through, what are your experiences, and how you make the best out of everything. For me, I feel like the safest thing for me is to keep myself a little guarded. Always have that lingering of doubt at the back of my mind that what if this doesn't work? You know, you really do not know what's gonna happen in the future. They could say they pour their heart and soul into you one day and then the next day, bamoose, like the wizard list. Like, you know, that kind of thing. There is always a lingering of doubt and you cannot deny that. You wouldn't know. 8 years, my heart was broken so many times to the point that I can't find a guy who I will love, because eventually they will do something that will break my heart. And I'm a person who gives a lot. I have a lot of love to give, but I realize that inevitably there will come a day that they will break my heart. Like even in my Even in my relationship now, I view it more as a companionship rather than on an emotional basis because I don't know. I will always at the back of the mind that people will hurt people. People will inevitably hurt the one that they love. So I always put myself first. That's why from learning from my younger days, I always put myself first. You cannot pour everything, all your love to a person. That way, if it ever comes to a day where they decide to leave you, at least you have so much self-respect that you can leave the relationship with your freaking head held high, and you will have you wouldn't feel sorry for yourself. You wouldn't feel like you have lost anything because you always put yourself first. You always safeguard yourself. You always safeguard your feelings. So that is actually how I act now. I always view relationships as something that is not transactional, but more like I don't love a person so much now. Dating around, especially with good guys, questionable guys, or bummy guys even, has taught me a lot. Every single one of them has taught me a lot. I am by no means not a perfect person. I never advocate that I am. I did some bad things too. Not gonna lie. I made mistakes. Guys who I've made like terrible mistakes too, and I hope each one of them are going through like good and better lives also. I might seem so cold right now, but I can assure you I am a very loving partner. Come on. You gotta give it to me. I mean, you guys haven't seen me in a relationship, but I am very, very, very loyal. With my significant other, and it's been like 6 years now. Wow, it's been 6 years, and it's just been, I think this kind of dynamic works the best for me. Don't know, whatever happens, happen. If fate decides that we will be together, we will be together, and if it decides that it wouldn't work out, then so be it. Like, I will be ready with my heart. I'm strong enough to take it, and it will just be another lesson from them. And so I will conclude this talk right now because I probably have to go to work. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.